this is Indy. This is the racing capital of the world.
This is hallowed ground, and it's a very emotional thing.
It's like a dream come true for any driver to race here, and if we could kiss the bricks at the end of the weekend, boy, we sure be happy.
To be on the podium and win here would be incredible.
Indianapolis Motor Speedway, the home of racing's legends, and now home to the Trans Am Series.
I'm getting goosebumps just even thinking about it. It's just a very, very emotional place to be.
Now Trans Am, America's road racing series, comes to the Brickyard for the first time. Next. There is no place like it anywhere on earth. Indianapolis Motor Speedway, for the first time ever, playing host to Trans Am presented by Pirelli, America's road racing series. Today, it's the Trans Am Speedway Showdown. Hello again, everyone, and welcome to Indy. I'm Rick Benjamin. NASCAR star Michael McDowell joins me for the call in a moment. Ashley Van Dyke has our coverage on pit road, and it is a first for Trans Am in the series' 51 years of existence. First time ever to come and race at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Today, Trans Am and our two production-based categories, TA3 and TA4. A lot of cars, should be plenty of action. Ashley standing by in Gasoline Alley with one young driver who's got a very full plate this weekend.
Cameron Lawrence, a very busy driver here this weekend. Tell us about your challenges going from the TA2 Camaro to this Durhog Corvette, Cameron.
Well, the biggest thing is the power. These things make a lot more power than our TA2 cars do. We're a little limited in that class, so getting used to the speed that we're running here, especially down the front straight. Also the transmissions, running these Hewlin 5-speed versus our Andrews 4-speed in the TA2 car. So a little bit different shifting pattern, a little bit different feel. So the biggest thing really is just getting comfortable in the car, which thanks to Jim Durhog and all of his crew guys for doing a great job with trying to get me, as comfortable as I can and up to speed as quick as they can. So they did a lot of work yesterday changing the motor for us. So I'm just gonna, hope do as best I can for them.
Cameron Lawrence will be starting 5th today in the Durhog Motorsport number 6 Corvette.
Driver change this weekend, so Cameron Lawrence stepping up from TA2, where he's a two-time champion, and he'll take a shot at glory today here at Indianapolis. Michael McDowell got a full field of race cars. David Pintar making his first appearance with us on TV this year. There's Simon Gregg, Cameron Lawrence's teammate. He's 4th in Trans Am points. How special is it to go racing at Indy?
It's an unbelievable feeling. You grow up watching Indianapolis. It is the mega of motorsports, and when you drive through the tunnel, there's just something so special about it. Making laps at Indy, definitely a dream come true for myself, and I know it is for a lot of these Trans Am competitors.
A lot of them in TA4 and in TA3, like Tom Herb and his Fall Line Motorsports Porsche. Full field of cars ready to do battle on this 2.4-mile circuit. They put a road course in for Formula One several years ago, and IndyCar uses this course as well. This is a tough place to race.
Very tough, very technical. You see turn 1, 2, 3, tight, twisty, but you have that long straightaway from 6 to 7, hard on the brakes, back to slow speed, tight, and technical. A great mix of everything. You get a little bit of the oval, but long straightaways, big braking zones, we'll see a lot of overtaking.
And they run in the opposite direction on the road course configuration.
Yeah, it gets a little confusing, but it's a great road course. We've seen a lot of spectacular races, like you said, Formula One, IndyCar, and now you see Trans Am cars at Indianapolis. Very special, monumental day.
You roll through this tunnel, the sign that says Gasoline Alley, on board here with Tim Rubright in his Ford Mustang. Come out onto this pit road. Doesn't matter what direction you're running, you've got to have goosebumps as a driver here.
Absolutely. You got the pagoda on the right. You have these great big grandstands. You look at that straightaway, such a famous shot right there. Like you said, going the opposite direction, but I can tell you all those drivers right now have goosebumps.
Amy Ruman, the two-time defending Trans Am champion, coming off pit road. Looks like some smoke showing out of that number 6 Chevrolet, the Durhog Motorsports Corvette, that'll be wheeled here today by Cameron Lawrence. Starting lineup, top of your screen. Cliff Edmond back with us in the 36. There's Claudio Burton. Tim Rubright, 77, out of Kutztown, Pennsylvania. Richard Grant from Tennessee. Kerry Hidd from Pennsylvania, Denny Lamers from Appleton, Wisconsin, and then we have the grid for TA3 and TA4. They will start together a little further back, about 30 seconds back behind another safety car in the Trans Am field. The TA3 field ought to be very, very competitive. You've got Porsches, the Fall Line Motorsports Group. You've got Corvettes in this field. This should be a terrific race today.
A great field, a lot of manufacturers, tight competition. But what I'm looking at is there's over 35 cars on the racetrack at one time between the three categories, TA, TA3, and TA4. Going to be a lot of traffic to navigate. You're going to have faster cars down the straightaway. TA is going to have to navigate that traffic just right, and it might play in to who wins this race today.
Ernie Francis Jr. in the 98-year pole qualifier. He's been on a win streak here in Trans Am. Vinny Allegretta in the 41 alongside. Two-time Trans Am champ Amy Ruman will start third alongside David Pintarek. Ashley Van Dyke with our coverage on pit road and in the paddock with this full field. Ashley, how's it looking down there?
Rick, I've been talking to teams and drivers down here before the race, and one thing to watch for is going to be that production car battle in TA3. You've got the overall handling of the Porsches and that sheer horsepower of the Corvettes and Vipers. That will definitely be some racing to watch today.
Aaron Pierce starting in one of those Corvettes, the Sam Pierce Chevrolet. Great open wheel short track racer. Green flag is in the air. 100 miles of action coming your way. The Trans Am Speedway Showdown, and problems for Cameron Lawrence right off the start. He is off the pace. That car was smoking a little on the pace lap. He is off to the side as the leader is Vinny Allegretta down into turn one.
Vinny did a great job. Ernie Francis feeling the pressure, got to the lead early there. Let's see if Vinny can hold off Ernie Francis Jr., who has been dominant the last few races.
David Pintarek in that Cadillac-bodied machine getting by Amy Ruman for third. On board with Allegretta, looking back at Ernie Francis Jr. Ernie not used to running second here in the opening laps.
No, but he's calm, he's cool, he's collected. Something tells me that he's not going to get too worked up.
So Allegretta, your leader down the backstretch. Meantime, TA3 about to take the green flag. The Fall Line Porsches. That's Aaron Pierce in that black and yellow Corvette on the inside, the former instructor at the Bondurant School. Great short track open wheel racer. Pierce grabs the lead down into the first corner, but here comes Mark Bowden and Tim Kesman right on, and Pierce locks up the brakes.
Oh, and he goes around. Aggressive move to get the lead. You can't win a race in turn one, but you can certainly lose it.
TA4 taking the green flag as well, and Pierce will go around on the oval and use one of the access roads to rejoin. Meantime, a lead change in Trans Am. Vinny Allegretta down into one. He's got a little brake lock up, and Ernie Francis goes by.
Feeling the pressures from Ernie Francis. Got in the corner a little too deep. You saw that tire lock up, start to smoke, just missed the corner. Ernie Francis back to the lead.
Ernie Francis Jr. in the Bonaconti Fund machine, the Ford taking over. Meantime, Tommy Dreese to the inside of Claudio Burton for position.
And he did that with authority. We saw him not only pull out, get on the brakes hard, but clear him before the corner.
Tony Ave's machine. Tommy Dreese driving, getting by Claudio Burton in the GoShare Corvette. Right-hand turn, heading out onto the short chute between turns 1 and 2 of the oval here. There's Pintarek. Leaders already in traffic from TA3 and TA4, just a couple of laps in. On board with Dreese here in Tony Ave's Chevrolet.
A great onboard there. You see the G-forces, that headrest sliding over, Tommy Dreese's head pushing against it, putting the pressure on Pintarek here. Not sure if Dreese has enough speed down the straightaways, but we've seen him be aggressive. We've seen him make moves, and that's what's fun about Tommy Dreese. He's always going for it.
Lead change meantime in TA3. That's Tim Kesman in one of the Fall Line Porsches, the Calypso Lemonade car. His teammate Mark Bowden getting past. We're on board with Bowden here in the 46 car. These two did a great job a year ago in the wet at Road America. I'm surprised these cars are this fast here in the dry at Indy. Meantime, trouble. We talked about the 6 car, the Durhog Motorsports Chevrolet. Cameron Lawrence taking that car over this weekend. He's got problems. He's on pit road. Back to the lead battle here in TA3.
Such a shame for Cameron Lawrence, too. We've seen Ernie Francis have so much success in TA. Really hoping to see Cameron Lawrence up front as well.
Quick timeout for us. Right back with more of the Trans Am Speedway Showdown in Indy.
Trans Am on CBS Sports Network is sponsored by 3-Dimensional Services Group. Prototype, production, proven. By GoShare, your friend with a truck. And by Pirelli, power is nothing without control.
Back at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, coverage of Trans Am presented by Pirelli, America's road racing series, the Trans Am Speedway Showdown for Trans Am TA3, TA4, 100 miles of action here today. Race leader is Ernie Francis Jr. Working traffic on the backside of the race course. Michael McDowell, 2.4-mile road course here, some tight corners, and when you've got such a speed differential between Trans Am and TA3 and 4, you got to really be careful here.
Absolutely, you got to pick and choose where you're going to make those passes, and it's hard for the faster car because you want to be aggressive, you want to keep that lead, but you really want to wait for those straightaways where you can open up that big motor, make the passes safely, not jeopardize your chance of getting to victory lane.
Two-time Trans Am champion Amy Ruman and the McNichols Company Chevrolet, the 23 car. Another two-time series champ, Cameron Lawrence in TA2, is out early today. Here's Ashley Van Dyke.
Cameron, disappointing to be here in the pit lane. Tell us what happened.
Yeah, just warm out lap, everything felt fine, warming up brakes and tires, and then as soon as the green flag came out, went to power, just thing kind of shut down, big vibration, something obviously in the driveline. It's a bummer because we had a fast lap yesterday. The guys threw a new motor in it overnight, so it's a really good piece right now. The car handle is great. I just feel bad for these guys, all the hard work, and having them put me in the car this weekend for it to end on the first lap. It's a real bummer.
So Cameron Lawrence's day done early. We will see him, though, in the TA2 event. You'll see that next week here on the CBS Sports Network. Amy Ruman in the 23 car trying to chop into the lead of Ernie Francis Jr. Coming up on the 5 car, the TA3 Porsche of Milton Grant.
And Amy really just needs a solid day. She's had such tough luck the last few races. Obviously, beating Ernie Francis Jr. right now is a difficult challenge, but she also just needs a nice, solid, clean day, gain some points, regain that confidence, momentum for the team, start putting together solid runs.
Michael McDowell, with your vast experience in this sport, on board here again with Tommy Dreese. We'll watch Dreese at work. And the Tony Ave Motorsports Chevrolet, the 8 car, war for the Planet of the Apes on the side of this machine. When you're approaching cars that are quite a bit slower than you and you've got a lot of traffic on the racetrack, it's really hard to kind of plan where you make that pass, isn't it?
And because you don't know what the other drivers are thinking, a lot of times they're in their own battle or they have their own struggles, and you're just trying to make a pass, and all of a sudden they'll move left or they'll move right into your line. So you got to be really far ahead of what's coming up. You got to be 2 or 3 corners planning. You can't just fire it off in there because that car might not know that you're there.
Go Share Corvette of Claudio Burton in the top 10 here today. Take a look at your running order, top of your screen, presented by 3-Dimensional Services Group. On board with Claudio Burton, making one of the right-hand corners. Interesting part of the race course here at Indianapolis, the road course, you come up onto the short chute, and then you've got a quick right-hander again. There's a kink in here to get you back out of the front straightaway.
And very challenging because the car loads and unloads there. As it comes up on the banking, the car's loaded, then it goes flat. So it's a very tricky place, easy to lock up brakes. But that onboard right there, you can never get tired of the sound of a TA roar. I mean, it's just a great muscle. That Corvette's flying down those straightaways. Those onboards are great.
800-plus horsepower in the classic Trans Am machines. Claudia Burton wheeling one of them, moving to the inside of the production-based TA3 Porsche. Again, Milton Grant getting passed here by a faster car. Meantime, the fight for the lead in TA4, Ty Napierowski in the SKF Tremec Chevrolet, the 39. He's got some trim work flapping there.
Yeah, it looks like a little bit of cosmetic damage. Not sure if he had contact, but maybe we'll get a good look at it.
Take a look at Brian Kleeman in the 07, the Mustang. Here's another look at this battle from Kleeman's onboard. Getting up alongside the 39. Coming up on the 04. And there's the contact.
Yeah, definitely. Maybe a little bit more than cosmetic damage there. 3 cars going into a tight hairpin, 90-degree right-hander's never going to work. Stack up, a little bit of bumper damage, but it shouldn't be too bad.
We're coming up on the Corvette of Aaron Pierce one more time. Time clock, top of your screen, our Pirelli running order. 75 minutes of clock time, 100 miles of racing. And the Dodge Challenger of Jeff Hinkle. This is the TA class machine, moving to the inside of Napierowski's car. And Hinkle kind of runs on a racetrack there. Has to get on the brakes big.
Well, you saw that big momentum coming from that TA car. Cleared 2 cars, got on the brakes, missed the corner. Now he's got to do it all over again.
So the 07 of Kleeman, that car really unloads. He picked up the left front going into the right-hander last time. Let's see what happens here. Get on board with Kleeman once again, fighting for the lead with Napierowski. Getting passed again by Hinkle on the backstretch.
And you see the speed difference in the TA category. I mean, 10, 15 miles an hour faster down that straightaway. Now, you saw the 07. It's rolled over carrying that inside tire. And a lot of that is just setup. You can get soft in the back. That allows you to have a lot of forward drive, but it makes it hard through the high-speed corners.
Well, 3 wheels of contact in a Trans Am car, I wouldn't think that would be the optimal setup.
Absolutely not. 4 tires are always better than 3.
On board here with Ernie Francis Jr., who took the lead early in Trans Am. He's leading overall here. Rolling past the leaders in TA3. That's Tim Kesman in the Calypso Eliminates Porsche. Preston Calvert in that 76 out of Pennsylvania. That's a Chevrolet Corvette. Good battle for the lead there. Ernie gets by them both. Allegretta didn't get by him. He's going to lose some ground here as we take a quick break at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Francis, Allegretta, and Ruben, your top 3. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, the Trans Am Speedway Showdown. Trans Am presented by Pirelli. I'm Rick Benjamin, Michael McDowell alongside. Ashley Van Dyke with our coverage on pit road. In TA4, Todd Napieralski there in the Tremec Chevrolet Camaro. And Guy Dreyer in the Guy Dreyer Designs Maserati. Good battle for the lead there.
Great battle in all categories so far today. Cool to see that Maserati having so much success. Nice looking car. Really good through that tight, twisty infield. Hard to keep up with that Camaro down the straightaway.
Guy Dreyer from the West Coast. He's been a stalwart in the early going in the Trans Am West Championship, newly revived this season. Napieralski in the 39. Ernie Francis Jr. was his nemesis in TA4 the last couple of seasons. Now that Ernie's moved into TA, Todd's thinking, okay, I can pick up some race wins, maybe a championship this year.
That's right. Kick that young guy out that's winning all the races and championships and give us a shot.
Ryan Kleeman is your points leader after 3 races over Napieralski. Chris Oatzen in 3rd spot. Brand new sheriff in town in TA3 and TA4. His name is Aaron Colwell. Ashley caught up with him earlier.
There's a lot of cars out there, people running amateur classes. They're looking for somewhere to go to put their toe in the water in pro racing, try it out, and that's what Trans Am is really here for. The larger series have become so expensive and complicated that it's a really big step to go from amateur racing up to pro racing, and Trans Am is really trying to be that bridge and help people make that step.
Being able to make that step, such a huge part. You know, when I was growing up racing, you start out locally, regionally. How do you get into professional racing, and how do you do it on a budget? How do you have that entry-level point? And TA3 and TA4 has created these classes that allow racers to get in at a price they can afford and go and have a competitive professional racing career.
And the action's fantastic. Watching that TA4 lead fight, Dreyer trying to reel in Napieralski, who's got that bodywork damage on the right rear corner from contact earlier. Ernie Francis Jr., who came out of this class, 3-time Trans Am champion in these production-based categories, leading here in Trans Am. Tommy Dreese, meantime, moves to 3rd. He's gotten by David Pintarek. Amy Ruman gets shuffled back to 5th.
Amy's actually dropping back here. We saw her running in 3rd, putting pressure on Allegretta. Now she's dropped back to the 5th spot. Not sure what she's fighting.
Mark Bowden in that orange and white Porsche there. He's kind of caught up in slower traffic as well, trying to work his way around a TA4 Mustang, gets the job done. Here's Pintarek swinging to the inside. You've got to make your moves at just the right time if you're going to get by the slower traffic.
And it's a tough balance because you want to be aggressive. You want to make those moves on those slower traffic. You don't want to lose time, but at the same time, they're having their own battle. You see them side by side. You throw it in there 3 wide, there might be contact. You might put yourself in a tough spot.
David Pintarek in that Cadillac Body 57, the Kreider Racing machine, starting to pull away from 2-time champion Amy Ruman. Now, Amy and the McNichols team, they just have had trouble finding their stride this season.
They've always had speed. We've seen it over the years, being the champion, winning lots of races. But there's more competition this year in TA than we've ever seen. Ernie Francis Jr. putting the heat on everybody. And I think it's causing teams to push harder, maybe make some more mistakes on the racetrack and in the pits.
Randy Kinsland in the 11 trying to dive bomb the 10 of J.R. Pisak out of Missouri. That didn't work out very well.
A very late, aggressive move. Not sure the 10 car saw the 11 on the inside. Heavy contact made.
Kinsland, one of the championship contenders here in that Corvette in TA3. He's the points leader, but his day will end early. Heavy contact, left front corner of that car seriously damaged. He's lost a wheel. Another look at it.
It appears he just got in too deep. Wasn't ready for that. Passing 2 cars at once, always tough to do.
When you make that move down the inside, that lane's very inviting to a driver on a road course in a left-hand or right-hand turn. That'll bring out a full course yellow, we do believe, but you've got to be really aware of your circumstances there.
And what's hard is that you're controlling your entry speed, but you're at such a bad angle all the way to the inside like that. When you get down to the corner, the car just doesn't make the turn.
And you're betting that the other driver knows you're there.
Which obviously he did not.
So the safety car is out in front of race leader Ernie Francis Jr. here at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. On board with Vinny Allegretta on the 41, running second right now in Trans Am. Taking a look back at the TA4 field, they will realign. Nate Burowski will be the restart leader over Dreyer and Kleeman. We'll be back.
Trans Am on CBS Sports Network is sponsored by Speedcom Communications. For 20 years, the world leader in motorsports radio and communications systems.
Back at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, coverage of the Trans Am Speedway Showdown. Mark Bowden in the fall line Porsche, the Tropical Passage machine today. He's sitting third right now. Bowden always a contender in these cars. Green flag is in the air. Ernie Francis leads us to the restart down the long front stretch here at IMS. Allegretta on the outside.
And we saw this on the initial start. Vinny Allegretta, very aggressive, good power, trying to get to the outside, hard move to make.
Former autocrosser making his move into Trans Am high horsepower race cars a couple of years ago. He's been very impressive in that 41. But how about Ernie Francis Jr. on that win streak? We saw him win at Detroit a couple of weeks ago. He is just smooth and fast everywhere we go.
And luckily, Vinny Allegretta has probably been the only one the last few races to keep him honest, to keep the pressure on. Ernie Francis so dominant, but at the same time, if you can stay in that guy's mirror, you can stay in his bumper, you might get him to make a mistake.
Allegretta in the 41, chasing the 98 of Francis, top 2 here at Indy. And it looks to me as though Ernie Francis Jr. is quicker just about everywhere except maybe on the front stretch where Allegretta's had some speed.
Yeah, Ernie Francis is so dominant. We've been talking about it over and over again. Since coming into the TA categories, a lot of poles, race wins, been dominating these races. I'm pretty sure the competition's tired of seeing him up front.
Vinny Allegretta surely is at this point. Allegretta trying to close in on Ernie. Oh, in trouble. Amy Rubin, the 2-time defending Trans Am champ, has spun the McNichols Chevrolet. She gets it pointed in the right direction and gets back on the gas. We will stay green. I believe we've got another look at it, Michael McDowell. There was some contact over on the backside. Here it is.
Well, you got to restart. A lot of classes fighting for position here. Amy trying to get around slower traffic. Oh, just gets in a little bit too deep. Todd Naparowski had no idea that Amy was on the inside. Unfortunately for Todd, he was the race leader.
In TA4, there it is from Napierowski's on board. The contact sends him around into the grass. So he's been the victim here a couple of times.
And this is exactly what Amy Rubin did not want to have happen today. Needs a smooth day, needs a solid day, and unfortunately her streak of tough luck continues.
Tommy Tracy, meantime, in the 8 car running third, getting by the 4 car of Tim Kesman. He's your leader in TA3. Pintarek right there as well. That's third and fourth as they move by Preston Calvert's machine, your TA3 championship standings after 3 events. Randy Kinsland won't finish today. Mark Bowden and Connor Flynn with an opportunity to take the lead perhaps in TA3 points. Tim Kesman trying to get into the hunt as well. Pintarek will swing that Cadillac to the outside as they come up onto the short chute here. But look at how much quicker Kesman is in that section of racetrack.
Well, that Porsche's great handling. It's light, it's nimble, it's good in the brakes. Where you're gonna see the biggest speed differential is on the straightaways. And it's tough because as the TA3 class, all you're trying to do is manage your race. You're not worried about that TA car, but at the same time, you cannot lose ground. So it's a tough balance for that slower car to keep the race pace where he needs it without giving up too much.
Kesman moves to the left side, lets Pintarek go by. He's fourth in the Kreider Racing Cadillac. One of the big stories in Trans Am this season, the arrival of Pirelli as the series presenting sponsor and tire supplier. Before the start today, we sampled some driver opinion on the Pirelli race tires.
The Pirelli tires have been great. The grip level is second to none. It really redefines the race car and the setup. It takes your car to a whole new level. So we've had 4 races on them now. We've adjusted to them, gotten the setup where we need to be, and we're excited about today.
It's a very consistent tire. It stays there for us for the whole race. and it's fast. I love it, and the Pirelli people are great in supporting us, so we're grateful to have them with us.
Compared to the tire we used to run in the series, it was a lot more slippery. The tire would go off towards the end. These tires are super consistent. I was actually running my Detroit race tires for all the practice sessions, test sessions and practices we did yesterday, and we were still on top in the timesheets.
It's been phenomenal, really. I mean, there's not a lot of fall off on this tire unless it's a really abrasive track, so it holds up really well. It withstands the heat. We don't really have a lot of time fall off in the car. Pretty much stays under us really well for most of the race.
Well, Rick, as you know, their toughest critic is the competitors. The competitors love this Pirelli tire. Not only is it consistent, but it has a lot of longevity. The teams are really enjoying Pirelli being a part of this series.
Claudio Burton on pit road in the GoShare Chevrolet. The 7 car looks as though he's got a problem. Burton off the pace coming through the twisty bits here as he completes the lap. So Claudio Burton heading to pit road. We'll try to find out what his situation is. Ernie Francis Jr., meantime, taking advantage of all of this to extend his advantage now. Tommy Dreese in the 8th car, though, has gotten to 2nd because Vinny Allegretta has come to pit road. Michael McDowell, Trans Am officials, telling us he had a drive-through penalty assessed for passing under a local yellow.
And very tough to judge as a driver. You see, the flag waving, but at the same time, you're navigating very slow traffic, trying not to lose too many spots. Obviously misjudged it, and unfortunately for him, he's going to pay the price.
Clock winding down, time at the top of your screen, our GoShare running order. That will move Dreese to 2nd, Pintarek to 3rd. Allegretta's going to have his work cut out for him now. He will need a caution. Take a look at the traffic. 4 wide, coming to turn. Oh, contact. Milton Grant gets into the Brian Kleeman Ford, tags Amy Ruman's Trans Am Chevrolet. Amy goes around. There's heavy damage to the bodywork on the 23. Grant's got nose damage on the 5 car. Both of those cars will be in severe difficulty. Amy gets back on the gas. She knows she's got to get back into this race.
And the problems just keep happening over and over for this 23 car. Unfortunate for Milton Grant as well. That Porsche knocked the radiator out of it. His day's going to be done.
One more look at it here. Grant getting into Kleeman and then just bounces into Amy.
4 wide, down into turn 1, never gonna work. Just not enough room. It looks like just misjudged the gap there. Not sure where exactly Milton was going, but it did not work out.
Now, is that a situation where Kleeman moved over on Grant because he saw Amy coming to the inside?
Well, a lot of cars fighting for the same territory. I really do believe Amy was an innocent bystander there, already passing those cars. TA car, a lot more speed down the straightaway. But from that shot, it looks like Amy did come back over. So just tough, tight quarters.
Claudio Burton in the GoShare Chevrolet trying to come back up on the racetrack. Looks like he still has a problem, though, based on the smoke that's showing there. Amy, meantime, in the 76 of Preston Calvert, the Phoenix Performance car has gone around. The Calvert Dynamic Chevrolet. Preston out of Pennsylvania. Stuck on the grass. He was running 2nd earlier in TA3. Claudio Burton, meantime, apparently ran over some debris, cut down one of the tires on the GoShare Chevrolet. He has had a new tire put on that car, and he's back out on the racetrack. Tadej Pirelli, meantime, in the 39, he's been hit a couple of times today.
He's having a rough day. So much speed, led the race early on. Contact from back. Twice now he's been hit. Sort of an innocent bystander. Just can't catch a break.
Got to be careful, though. It looks like the rear valence on that car is about to separate from the 39 car. Trans Am officials will be watching that. That could potentially bring about a black flag. Let's get an update from pit road. Here's Ashley.
Unfortunately, Rick, for Amy Ruman, she is now sitting down on the pit lane with that 23 McNichols Chevrolet Corvette. An incident earlier on, contact with another car has unfortunately brought her down here for some much needed repairs. The team is going to get her back out there, but unfortunately, Amy is not going to have a good day here at Indy.
Anytime you have to pit for an extended stretch in one of these 100-mile sprint races, you've got a long mountain to climb to recover from that. Ernie Francis Jr., though, set sail early, and he has been the dominator so far here at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Welcome back to the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Trouble for the 39 of Tadej Pirelli, one of the championship contenders in TA4. That SKF Tremec Chevrolet. Contact not his fault a couple of times. Now it looks like he's got a tire rub.
You talked about it earlier, that body rubbing on that tire. It's cut down that Pirelli tire. And unfortunately for him, like you said, innocent bystander leading the race and gets hit by behind. Tough day for him.
All the way back in 9th spot right now. Todd will try to bring that car around to pit road, off the pace severely, just trying to get back to his crew. And you know when there's that much smoke pouring off and he is way off the pace to get out of the way of the rest of race traffic here, he's just hoping to make it back to pit road.
And it's a tough balance, how fast you go coming back to the pits. You don't want to lose too much time, but in this sprint format, like you mentioned, once you have an issue and you're down pit road, the day's pretty much done anyways. All you can do is salvage some points. The best thing for him to do is not tear up that car anymore.
In Trans Am, the 8 car for Tommy Dreese. He and David Pintarek have a good battle going now. Podium spots at stake here. Vinny Allegretta with problems earlier was assessed a drive-through penalty, so he fell out of second spot. Second, third, and fourth in play. Tim Kesman, meantime, in the Porsche, the fall line entry. He's got a cut left front tire.
We're seeing a lot of tires going down here, and the reason that is all the bodywork damage. You see all the debris laying on the racetrack, and it doesn't take much. When you run over something sharp like carbon fiber or a piece of steel or aluminum, cuts the sidewall of the tire, immediately goes flat.
Trans Am officials don't want to go full course yellow. Most of the work being done in the corners by corner workers who do a great job trying to remove that debris as much as possible. Try to keep things going here and stay under green. Kerry Hitt and Simon Gregg, meantime, fighting for 5th. Kerry Hitt in that Cadillac bodied machine, his Advanced Composites race team. They build that bodywork, and Kerry doing a nice job fighting here with the former Trans Am champion in the Durhag Chevrolet, the 59. Let's get an update on Tim Kesman down to Ashley.
The number 4 Calypso Porsche of Tim Kesman has just pulled in to the pit lane. Team is down here ready to do a quick tire change in process to get Tim back out there. He was your current leader. Let's see how Tim's able to battle back up there and try to get a podium spot here at Indy.
The fall line crew on it quickly, and again you see the cut tire from the debris. They get a new left front put on the 4 car. Kesman is down and away.
And a very quick stop too. Remember, these cars and these teams are not set up for pit stops like we'll see in a NASCAR race where they're changing tires, putting fuel in it. That is a worst case scenario when you get to pit road. They did a great job getting them back out there.
On board with Mark Bowden, teammate to Tim Kesman. He's taken over the lead in TA3. The Dominator, Ernie Francis Jr. He's won 3 in a row. He's led every lap so far here today in the Trans Am Speedway Showdown from Indy. I'm Rick Benjamin, Michael McDowell alongside. Ernie Francis Jr. has dominated this one. He is working out what would potentially be his 4th consecutive Trans Am win. And Michael McDowell, he was the pole sitter for the season opener at Sebring back in March. They had problems. He couldn't close the deal there, but trouble. The 8 car, Tommy Dreese, off in the grass. He loses a couple of spots. That puts him back to 4th.
And Tommy Dreese was having a solid day. No mistakes until that point. Slid wide there. And like you said, he's given up that podium spot.
Dreese back on the gas. Laps starting to wind down. 42 laps our distance, or 75 minutes by clock time. Think we'll get all 42 laps in. Meantime, let's get an update on Vinny Allegretta's penalty. Downstairs to Ashley Van Dyke.
Rick, I'm down here in the 41 pit box with Sean. Well, how's Vinny's race gone so far, and what's happened out there?
We were feeling pretty good, but I guess a local yellow came out that Vinny didn't notice, and they said he passed 2 cars under the local yellow, so they ended up giving us a drive-through. But we worked our way back up into 3rd. Hopefully by the end of the race we have at least a chance for 2nd.
How's the car handling for him?
He's loving the car. And he kept giving Ernie a run for 1st there, but that local yellow kind of got us in a bind.
An unfortunate incident for Vinny Allegretta. Gonna try to make it up here with what time we have left at Indy.
David Pintarek making up some good time in the Kreider Racing Cadillac, moving up to 2nd spot now. Lapping by the 13 of Guy Dreyer. Now Dreyer in that Maserati, he's leading TA4 at the moment.
Having a great day. You see a local caution there, and he's just played a smart race. No damage, no contact. Some of his other competitors having some tough luck. He's had a fast car. Can he manage the last few laps?
Having a clean race in sports car racing and road course racing is everything, isn't it?
Especially today, we saw it. So many of the race leaders were taken out with damage or a tire failure because of running over somebody else's debris. There's so much that's happened in this race to the race leaders. Having a solid day is really what you needed to do.
There you see some of the debris. We've been talking about the contact we've had. First time for Trans Am here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. A lot of different classes of cars in action here on this weekend, so you have different kinds of rubber down on the track. There's the 07 of Brian Kleeman, the DWW Ford Mustang. He's been entertaining us by hiking that left front wheel up in some of the corners here. Brian Kleeman on quite a win string as well. He's won 3 in a row in that 07 car. And here's Mark Bowden in the Fall Line Motorsports 46. He's taken over the lead in TA3. Allegretta, meantime, sitting third in the TA Sights and Sounds Chevrolet. After that drive-through penalty, he's had a clean day except for that pass under the local yellow.
Yeah, really a shame because Vinny was putting the pressure on Ernie Francis Jr. Not sure if he could have contended for the win, but it was nice to have somebody keeping him honest.
Allegretta out of the New York City area, former autocross competitor. Let's get on board with his Chevrolet here. Allegretta trying to reel in the race log leader, Ernie Francis Jr. in the Boone County Fund Ford Mustang. Ernie going for 4 straight in Trans Am. Next week on CBS Sports Network, coverage of TA2 from the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, powered by AM Infinity. Michael McDowell, the TA2 cars here, want to put on a great show.
They always put on a great race. You see the Camaros, the Mustangs, head-to-head, beating and banging, the veterans versus the guys that are coming up trying to take the crown.
And your doppelganger, Keith Prochuk, in this one as well.
It's such a great class. I get so excited watching it. You know I do. They beat, they bang, they slide around. Definitely something to watch.
Simon Gregg starting to put some heat now on Kerry Hitt as they fight for position in Trans Am. Laps winding down, 42 laps by distance, 75 minutes of clock time. I think we'll see all 42 laps today. Simon trying to get alongside Kerry Hitt and pick up a position here.
And as a race car driver, this is not a battle for the lead, but it matters. Every spot matters. You've seen these guys going head to tail every single lap of this race, and it's coming down to the end. Now, granted, it might not be for that podium spot, but you want every spot you can get.
Brian Kleeman, meantime, who's got a win string going, trying to close back in on Guy Dreyer. This is the TA4 lead at stake late in the going at Indy. That Maserati has been out in front the last handful of laps. Kleeman trying to get back around him in the 07 car. Todd Napierowski in the 39 had led earlier today. White flag is in the air, 1 to go at Indy. Ernie Francis Jr. all alone out in front.
I can't say enough about Ernie Francis Jr. going for 4 in a row. It's impressive what he's been able to do, a young guy, and this is what Trans Am is about. We talked about the TA3 and the TA4 being that production entry level into professional racing. Ernie Francis is showing that is the ladder to get the TA. Not only is he here, but he's winning, he's dominating. He's got a real shot at this championship.
Ernie Francis Jr. has been the dominator this weekend. On pole, he's led every lap of this 100-mile race. His dad, Ernie Sr., rest of the crew watching as they route their driver on. Just a few miles to go here today to close it out at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. The 98 car all alone as he heads toward the checkered flag.
And what's really impressive about this team, they've had speed. Obviously, Ernie Francis has been so fast, but it's hard to win these races. We've seen so many mistakes or problems, mechanical failures, but they're able to put together the entire package. That car is reliable, it's fast, and Ernie Francis keeps bringing it home, and he does it with a dominant fashion.
Brand new Mark Meissen chassis for the 98 team. And Ernie Francis Jr., again, we talked about the necessity of running clean races. He's done it once again here, heading to victory. The 98 car of Ernie Francis Jr. is your winner at Indianapolis Motor Speedway, the Trans Am Speedway Showdown. Ernie Jr. has won 4 in a row. Mark Bowden in the Fall Line Porsche about to take the checkered flag in TA3. He will come home as your winner today. So Bowden picks up an impressive win in that category.
We saw tight battles throughout all 3 categories, TA3, TA4, fierce battles for the lead.
But in TA4, some late race drama on the final lap. Guy Dreyer in that 13 car, that Maserati, he'd been leading for quite some time. He spins on the final couple of corners, ends up beached in a gravel trap. He will not see the checkered flag. That costs Dreyer the win. That should provide the win for the 4th straight race to Brian Kleeman. We'll be back.
Trans Am on CBS Sports Network is sponsored by 3-Dimensional Services Group. Prototype, production, proven. By GoShare, your friend with a truck. And by Pirelli, power is nothing without control.
Welcome back to the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. The Trans Am Speedway Showdown is complete. Your winner is Ernie Francis Jr., his 4th in a row in Trans Am. He's with Ashley.
Ernie Francis Jr., what a race. Tell us about the emotion, being such a young driver, around so many veterans, so many successful drivers. You just pulled off a win here today at Indy.
No, it's really incredible being here back at Indy with Trans Am. It's my first time here, and I love this place. This place is incredible. It's an awesome track to drive. And to get pole, sweep the weekend, get fast lap, win the race, it couldn't be more amazing.
Who do you need to thank for helping support you getting here, Ernie?
At first, I have to thank my partner, the Panicani Fund. They did a great job supporting us all season to get us here. Thank my engine builder, K-Tech, transmission builder, EMCO, chassis builder, Meissen Enterprises. They all did a great job on this car, and the car was just unbelievable and fast all weekend.
Ernie Francis Jr. has won his 4th race in a row. Your current point leader on top.
His dad visiting with him as well in victory lane. He's got a hammerlock on this Trans Am Championship. This win at Indy, very impressive. David Pintarek runs 2nd in front of Vinny Allegretta. Simon Gregg and Kerry Hitt, the rest of the top 5. What about the 8th car with Tommy Dreese? Well, Trans Am officials have penalized Tommy. He's been excluded from the final results.
David had your hands full today, got the 2nd place at Indy. David, tell us what your race was like.
It was busy. It's a busy track. There's a lot of cars out there. Tommy and Amy and Vinny were tough out there. They're really good drivers, and Ernie's in another league all to himself and all that stuff. But we just tried to hang on after we had about a 20-second lead over 3rd place and brought it home. Home at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. How cool is that?
Way cool for that Cadillac CTS-V to find spot number 2 on the podium today.
Pintarek in the Kreider Racing Cadillac, some great driving out there today to pick up 2nd spot. In TA3, Mark Bowden comes home your winner for the Fall Line team. Tom Herp, his teammate, ends up in 2nd in front of Connor Flynn. Tim Kesman with that tire issue comes back to end up in 4th. Randy Kinsland, who was the championship leader, crashing out early. He finishes 9th. Let's hear from our winner.
Mark Bowden, your TA3 winner. How'd you pull it off here at Indy?
I knew it was going to be a war of attrition. I've raced here before. I know the tire degradation is big, and I just said I got to let everybody go and run my own race and let the race come to me, and it did. At the end, everybody really slowed up, and I was able to be pretty consistent. My car it definitely fell off a bit, but not as much as everybody else, and there was a lot of traffic. It was busy out there, especially on the restarts and the first few laps afterward. But thanks to the guys at Fall Line, always a great car, it never even hiccuped. Pirelli, Trans Am, Indy for having us. A little plug, can't wait for the runoffs. I'm very excited about that, and awesome victory.
Thanks, Mark. Congratulations.
Mark Bowden referencing the SCCA runoffs, the Olympics of amateur racing coming up in September at Indy. Meantime, Guy Dreyer, who was off in the kitty litter, he got that car refired. It took him several minutes to do that while we're conducting our interviews. Here's the contact between his car and Brian Kleeman.
Tough to say there, 3 wide going into the corner. Obviously, it's the last lap, racing for the lead. Not sure how they're going to call that, but obviously Trans Am did not like what they saw.
Guy Dreyer will get credit for 3rd. Kleeman gets bumped back to 4th behind Oatzen in 2nd. Andrew Entwistle picks up the victory post-race. Entwistle thrilled to get the victory here at Indy.
Rick, I've caught up with your TA4 class winner, Andrew, your series debut, and you're on top of the podium today. What's that like for you?
Well, I mean, it's hard to describe what it means to be at the top of the podium here at Indy. And obviously, it's my rookie season. It's my first Trans Am race. I can't say enough wonderful things about the series and everybody involved with it. They are so completely professional. They ran an absolutely fabulous event. And, you know, this is the place to be racing. It really is. And I can't thank enough Phoenix Performance, who just built a great car and kept the car in perfect shape all weekend, and of course Ford and and Hawk and Bosch and Penske, with everything they've put into that car. So we're really blessed, and heck, it's Father's Day weekend, and my kids were able to come too, so it was terrific.
Andrew Entwistle celebrating a victory post-race as he picks up the win in TA4. A wild day of action, Michael McDowell.
A lot of action, a lot of carnage, side-by-side racing. This is what we expect in Trans Am. It doesn't get much better.
Next week, Trans Am 2 from the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Hope you can join us here on CBS Sports Network. I'm Rick Benjamin. Thanks for watching.